In this video, I'll be giving you an insight to my approach towards music production, covering what has worked as well as the issues I've faced along the way. Hi, my name's Akito. I'm a London-based DJ and beatmaker. I've been making music on and off for the last decade, experimenting with a variety of approaches in the quest of efficiency and, more importantly, attempting to create music I'm actually fond of. Today, I'm sharing my strategies and experience so far with you to see what has and hasn't worked and how I've overcome some of the issues. So make sure to stick around to the end of the video to see if you can spot any methods that can complement your workflow or how you can avoid my mistakes completely. I appreciate everyone's creative process is different, some completely, while others may overlap, so feel free to share your creative struggles and solutions in the comment section. All right, let's get straight into it. Number one is investing too early, polishing turds. I've released a lot of music I regret seeing the light of day. I boiled this down to the fact I was a serial turd polisher. Starting a mediocre idea of a track and becoming so invested that I couldn't help but polish to completion. I'd mix down all of its exhausting elements to finally send it over to the mastering house, effectively rolling it into glitter. Naturally, this process is tiresome and ultimately demoralizing. So, moving forward this year, here's how I changed my approach. For this example, let's say I'm working on an EP and I have to create and complete 4 tracks in 4 weeks. I'll spend the first 2 weeks relentlessly churning out demos with no mixing or intricate fancy arrangements. If I wanted to add a splash of reverb or echo, I'll literally use what's on the send and returns by default. The aim here is to focus purely on production, creating sketches and flirting with ideas and quantity, as I know the technical, more time-consuming qualities in the project will improve at a later stage, but only if need be. Once the demo period is over and I enter the last 2 weeks, I'll pick the winners out of the pool of demos to refine and develop, fixing their arrangement, experimenting with sections, adding variation, mixing it down, etc. into the final stereo pre-masters, prep for the mastering house. With this method, I feel I don't become overly attached or invested in any one composition, and it's easier to select from a large batch of ideas and edit down into tracks I really like, than to fight with project files and carry the burden of completing them as I run out of time to create newer, better ideas. A lot of great things come through choice, and it's better to shape a rough stone into a gem than refining a steaming pile of sh. Up next we have Parkinsons law and deadlines. Parkinson's law is the adage that work expands to fill the time available for its completion. Work expands to fill the time available for its completion. I think deadlines are great, self-imposed or not, providing they are realistic. So I'll always set and do my best to abide by them. If I'm on job and active, I won't feel the pressure of them, rather than let them time stretch and distort out of all proportions mentally. I'll aim for completion before too, providing I'm happy so I can move on to other projects. Then again, that doesn't always go to plan. That's why I believe in the importance of my next point. But first, I have a brand new sample pack out now. 100 Hits 2 is available exclusively through Akito Mart website, so feel free to check it out after the video. I've left a link in the description for you. And next is an obvious but important one. Taking action. If overthinking was a competition, I'd have 3 medals and a statue in front of my house. Thinking is necessary, of course, but there's a point where I begin to ruminate and revolve rather than pace towards the goal of actualizing music into reality. Beyond my circle of thoughts, I used to wait on my elusive mate inspiration to prop me out my slumber into action. But being in this reactive state never got the results. It's just far too slow and inconsistent. So dead. So the solution for this was to become more proactive, make it happen, and take more responsibility for my actions, or should I say inaction. From all my creative outputs, from YouTube, music through to painting, taking action has been the precursor to inspiration, motivation, and even feeling better in general. Most of the days I woke up and wasn't in the mood or couldn't be bothered when I was way too in my head. Thankfully, this flipped quickly as soon as I poured my energy into the creative process. My regular trivial loop or thought will become quieter or even completely silenced as I deal with something I feel is far more constructive and beneficial. The process became as simple as opening my DAW and chipping away. However I felt on the day mentally. Whether the results were huge or tiny, I'm still approaching my end goal and exercising more possibilities every time I've put some work in. Something that theorizing alone could never bring into fruition. And up next is feedback. For someone that's as stubborn and hard-headed as me, I've only asked for feedback and help more recently. Reaching out and getting a second or fourth pair of ears has been a huge help. I experienced this most recently when I flew out to Greece and linked up with the Not Now label guys to wrap up my forthcoming EP for their label. Before leaving London, I was literally losing sleep over this project. I had all the ideas, but the rest was all pretty much doomed. But being in the same room together and exchanging critique and ideas, we managed to get it all arranged and mixed far better than I ever could on my own. And only in a few days, you could literally hear the glow up. So massive thank you to the Not Now gang, new EP coming soon. I hope you've enjoyed this video. The plan onwards is to drop them more consistently. So please subscribe to the channel and slap that notification bell. Until next time, much love.